Literally, we're hot right now. Yeah, we're definitely hot. We're feeling the heat. But you know what? We're so committed that we'd rather sacrifice the AC for the lovely audio. Yeah. We aim for quality here at this podcast. If you know me and my boy here, that's what we strive for, excellence every day. We piss excellence. So we're gonna bring you the best of the best. Only for our lovely viewers and listeners. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, brother. Well, sorry, apologies. Welcome back for the brand new episode of the Beyond Suspicion podcast with your two most favorite co-hosts in the entire world. My boy Brett, the White Rhino, and myself, Eduardo.
Yo.
So, brother, before we embark, I always want to be a gentleman. How are you doing today?
Oh, fantastic.
Nice. As you can see, people, we're rocking our shirts. Brett's rocking his and ours. Supreme quality. And I can't stress enough, if you want anything custom, tumblers, coasties, shirts, sweaters, anything print, pandg.creations at Instagram. We'll plug it up to in the description. Yeah. Check her out. She does a lot of stuff and high quality. That's all I can say. All right. So shout out to you. Thank you again for our shirts. And I love it. We appreciate it very much.
We got the new podcast uniform.
Oh, new podcast uniform for sure. We might have to, we might have to take it up a notch. We might have to go with like a polo next time or something. You know what I'm saying? With like logo wise, just like the Beyond Suspicion podcast, something crazy.
And if it's something you like, holla at us.
Right? Yeah, something like maybe hats next time or something. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
dude, anything. So, but brother, craziness that's going on today in regards to being hot and caliente. Mm-hmm. It is insane. I mean, it's still it's clearing up a little bit, but we live over there in the Pacific Northwest, and we're definitely seeing the effects of the tragedy that occurred in Spokane in regards to the fires. Right? Yeah. It was a little smoky. It was a lot worse yesterday, right? But it's clearing up a little bit. But that's one thing we want to jump into this podcast that just seems to be very suspicious. A lot of things aren't really checking out right. I mean, Brett, what do you think?
I mean, there's a lot of, similarities between other fires that were mysteriously started for mysterious reasoning. I mean, why, if you're trying to do maybe a little project in an area and people don't want to do it, well, I mean, eminent domain might not work, but maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some other alternatives.
Right.
Something like that.
So if you want to because we always touch on the basic conspiracy here. I mean, we definitely like to dive into the randomest and most craziest articles there are, or just topics in general, right? That gets the wheel spinning. And of course, our minds kind of work almost similar in a sense where nothing's really a coincidence nowadays, right? Everything seems to be kind of falling in line where this seems like it's a little bit planned, or it seems like it's a little bit of a plan, right?
Things connect in very mysterious but connecting ways.
Right. So, and of course, I actually when this was going on, when this was barely happening, I actually reached out to my cousin. He lives over in Spokane Valley, and he said it was pretty bad. He said he's okay where he's at, but he said it was very, very smoky. It was just hard to see.
Yeah, they were putting out alerts for how smoky it was for people, with lung issues. They were just suggesting that they stay indoors. So yeah, nothing you want to play with. I mean, and there are other fires in the area right now that we are getting that smoke from, and it's kind of kept me indoors for a couple days.
So it was at first there was one in Canada, right? Like around Canada somewhere.
Canada, everything started, and
then it moved to Spokane.
And not moved. I mean,
not moved, but new fire. Sorry,
yes.
I want to make sure we say that correctly. Yeah. Another different fire in Spokane, and then now one over in Eastern Washington, right?
Yeah, you got over in Lake Chelan.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man.
And then and Oregon's got some right now too, as well. Man, so,
dude. Hey, but you got to blame. What is it? Global warming, right?
Well, that's what our former governor Jay Inslee just
let it ride.
Right away.
Let it ride. Let it fly.
This is, our former governor, Jay Inslee. My personal opinion, he's an absolute puke of a human being. And he raised our taxes so high in Washington. And then, that's why we're paying the second highest gas prices in the nation, is because he brought in cap and trade, got it all passed, did all that fun stuff, and just raising taxes. And then the first thing he did when he was no longer governor is what? Moved out of Washington.
Oh, yeah, it was in Idaho now, right?
He moved to Idaho. That's where a lot of Washingtonians are moving because of the situation Mr. Jay Inslee created. So so there's this fire that just, it was too mysterious, right?
Yeah.
I mean, neighborhoods are lighting up. I think as of this recording, they're up to 900 structures that have burned down. So many homes. I think 60,000 people are displaced. And it was just a fire that just mysteriously started. I mean, there were just, and you know, of course, now we know that someone's got arrested. But even without that arrest, it was still too mysterious of a fire, too suspicious to just attribute it to anything natural.
Yeah.
And yet Jay Inslee comes out and immediately, I mean, on the day that the guy got arrested, came out and was just going all in on this is climate change. This is what climate change. And again, he wants to see taxes rise. He's probably working with people in Idaho to raise their taxes to get all this, you know, get his little socialist dream and move it eastward and pollute those mines of the freedom lovers in Idaho. So that's where he's at, and that's where his whole take is. And all of us in Washington, it just, the timing couldn't have been better, because then within minutes of him just having the audacity to release that absolute crap take of a video, the news came out that they had arrested a suspect.
Yeah. So we're going to go into a little bit.
For arson.
Yeah. So this is a little bit of summary, of course, with what's going on. The Spokane complex wildfires erupted in early August of this year, collectively scorching over 10,500 acres, destroying more than, at the time, 800 structures and forcing the evacuation of over 65,000 residents. The most devastating blaze, the Old Trails fire, accounted for roughly 80% of all structural losses. Investigation revealed the catastrophe was intentionally planned and executed by a prolific serial arsonist. So it wasn't just anybody, Brett. He had, I'm guessing, like a history of doing this, right?
He's got 25 fires under his belt that he's admitted to.
And the one thing that comes to mind, it's, I feel for just the people that lost their homes, because that's your house. They literally just got engulfed in flames, right?
Yep.
Are they even going to get any sort of payout or any, do we know at this point if the insurance company, or they're going to blame him, they're going to charge him with all this money, but we know damn well that he's not going to have the funds to repay all these homes that got lost in these fires, right?
No. And, this is where insurance can be seen as a scam by so many people, because insurance industries are made to their profit. They're for-profit companies, and they always look for the most minimal payout that they can.
Yeah.
So, no, I think you're going to hear a lot of horror stories. A lot of people who are, you're going to hear stories of people who were underinsured. You're going to hear a lot of claims that are going to get denied. How do we know you had that? There's a lot of people are going to lose. We're talking tens of millions of dollars in this that insurance companies will not compensate.
That's insane, man. And this is not a couple houses. I mean, at the time when we're reading this summary, right, it was around 800. It's more than that now, right?
Yeah. On the way over, I was just checking in with some stats, and they're up to over 900 structures now.
Insane. Do you want to go down the timeline to see how this started, Brett? Do you want to go down and see just how it began and just moving along, how it, I guess, where they seem to put it out, correct? They put it out completely, right?
No, it's only 15% contained. So this is the fear. This is the fear that they are running into.
Man, okay.
This guy, his name is Aaron Farinacci, the suspect. He started this fire last week, and then what I'd like to do is go into how he went about this. He has had his first court appearance, I think. And but initially when he was arrested, he denied having anything to do with it. But then with further investigation, he finally admitted to it and said, yeah, you know what? Not only did I start this one, but I actually have started other ones. Last year, there was a really big fire in Spokane. He admitted to starting that one as well.
Oh, man.
And so all in all, he had started 25 fires, and he said that a lot of these were just trial runs, and he had an app on his phone that told him what the weather conditions were. So he was actually waiting for the perfect weather conditions to strike these fires. So then when he did, his app says, yep, it's going to be a windy day with very low humidity with heat. And so he took a little device out there and put a timer on it. So it was a time device. So he was well away from the scene when the fire started. And then it wasn't until someone else saw him acting suspicious around the area where they brought him in. But he had been brought in on previous fires as well.
So, like you stated, right? So, Aaron Farinacci sets 25 fires near his Spokane apartment complex, the Spokane River, and the Centennial Trail over a year span. Police encountered him at 3 separate fire scenes, but they lacked sufficient evidence to arrest him. And this was in July of last year. So July, from last year up until now, July, well, we're in August now, but July of this year. So July 6th, he sets the Aubrey White fire, burning 1,200 acres. On the 8th of July of last year, he sets the TJ Minnock fire. An officer stops Farinacci near the scene, but Farinacci claims he only has lighters to smoke cannabis.
Mm-hmm. So when he was arrested, one thing he said that he loves the power. He says he loves the beauty of fire, and he loves the power, and he said he loves arson because it's an easy crime to get away with.
Why don't you light yourself on fire, bud?
So,
like, what's crazy?
But that, we have talked about this very thing on the podcast before.
Yeah.
And in the previous podcast, I forgot what episode, but I had always said a terrorist attack on soil. I'm surprised we haven't seen terrorist light forest fires. And then here we go. It was only a matter of time. But if you look at his history as a person, when he was he was adopted, and in 2012 his adoptive father asked him to do the dishes. Or maybe it was 2012. 2012 was when he was convicted.
Okay.
But I think maybe it was 2010, whatever. But he didn't want to do the dishes, so he ends up killing.
2010.
Okay. Yeah. So he ends up killing his adoptive father down in Arizona. So then it's not a murder charge. I think they did a plea deal, but he ended up pleading guilty to manslaughter and aggravated assault, and he served about 10 years, and then he was released in 2020. From 2020, I think in 2022 he moves to Spokane.
October of 2022. Yep.
Ends up finding a partner, having a child, and so. But he's got mental issues.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But if you wanted to go in more on that.
Yeah, so we'll definitely get into that for sure. But I just want to go down the timeline just to see, like, he, according to this, he said, like, this was his thing. It seemed like this was like he got off on just setting fires in different areas and just causing just destruction, right? So August 11th of last year, he sets the equestrian fire in Riverside State Park. July 24th of this year, he sets the Indian Bluff fire. Then mid-July, that's where the big plot begins. Farinacci spends 2 weeks tracking local weather conditions, as like you stated, via a smartphone app. Yep. He monitors data to strategically target a day with high heat, low humidity, and high winds to maximize the fire's destructive capability. He also researches historical serial arsonists to construct an ignition device. What the hell?
Yep. That's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
The time device. So he had a time device that would ignite the fire while he was away from it.
So Saturday, August 1st of 2026, the ignition, 12 p.m., a witness observes Farinacci acting suspiciously, kneeling in the grass near Old Trails and Euclid roads northeast of Airway Heights. Around 12:37 p.m., the Old Trails fire quickly explodes to 200 acres and jumps Old Trails Road within minutes, trapping residents. The other distinct fire spark concurrently in the region.
Yeah, I think there ends up being 3 different fires now because of this.
This is crazy. Afternoon, police detain Farinacci a mile away. He wears a green shirt reading, "Who needs luck? I have charm," and possesses heavy-duty waterproof matches and butane lighter lacking structural origin details. Police release him at the scene. Dude, what the hell? So this dude, so this dude looks like he was like prepared for this. This is not just somebody like oh, I'm just gonna light this, boom, and just leave, let it just ignite, and then just walk away.
You know what my biggest fear in this is?
Okay.
My biggest fear.
All right, let's hear it.
It is the copycats. Columbine, the school shooting in Colorado.
Yeah.
That sparked so many copycat. And now you have a crime that he is already acknowledged, and we have to acknowledge that arson is a very hard crime to pin on somebody. So all you have to do with these people who have mentally ill or who are mentally ill and have really bad thoughts is now you just spark an idea in them, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And this might be something we see on a more regular basis.
Dude, and it's just the fact that you're literally destroying people's property and their lives with their homes, dude. It's not a joke. It's crazy.
That gives those people a sense of power. That's crazy. They, because I mean, you look at him, he was adopted.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, here's the thing. Adoption can be a very beautiful thing, but the hard reality that a lot of people don't want to talk about is these children who are adopted are often not normal. They're not right in their head, and they don't always get the help that they need. Even the ones that aren't fully, that aren't way off on the deep end.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of anger and pent up aggression in these individuals. And so, but I don't want to, I say that with hesitancy because I don't want it to come off as I think that adoption is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just, what I'm trying to do is just look at the reality that many people that I've met who are adopted tend to have these internal pent up feelings that they just feel like they weren't loved, right? And so then you sprinkle in some mental illness and aggression into that, and now all of a sudden you've found this thing where you can absolutely bring max pain to many individuals, and you can possibly continue this because they can't find you, they can't catch you. This could be a very, very bad recipe.
Okay, so good points, definitely good points. So Sunday, August 2nd, so this was a couple of days ago, fire containment drops to 0%. Over 65,000 residents flee as level 3 go now evacuation orders sweep Spokane County. Driven by a 45 miles per hour wind gust, the fire burns entirely through multiple residential blocks. The following day, August 3rd, a detective reviews 2025 files and matches Farinacci's distinct charm T-shirt to photo evidence taken at the August 2025 equestrian fire scene. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office executes a warrant and arrests Farinacci at his Copper River apartment. Tuesday, August 4th, Wednesday through Wednesday, August 5th, the confession. Under interrogation, Farinacci confesses to starting the Old Trails fire and 24 other blazes. Weather conditions shift favorably, allowing 1,500 firefighters to slow down the fire spread. So now we go to a day ago, Thursday, August 6th. Farinacci is formally charged with 5 counts of first-degree arson after detectives physically corroborate 4 of his past fire claims. A Superior Court judge raises his bail to $2 million. The defense requests a mental competency evaluation, temporarily pausing the court proceedings. So now we're going to,
you need to stop it anyway because the fire, at only 15%, this weekend is supposed to be very hot and also windy again. So firefighters and area leaders are cautioning Spokane residents that, hey, be safe in this time. because it's going to be a bad weekend, another bad weekend. So
that's insane. Hey, man, salute to all the firefighters, out there.
Firefighters, first responders,
definitely
detectives.
everybody involved, because this is, I mean, it's a serious matter, man. This is insane. The more I'm reading about
this is the worst one in Washington history.
Yeah, that's what I was reading too. And I've been keeping up to date with just, watching all the, we're going to get into a video that I have saved here just to show the level of destruction that this caused. And a lot of questions arise too with just the way this fire burned. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's kind of like a big question, where we were talking about how the similarities between the ones in Hawaii that happened, a couple years ago to this. But we're going to go jump back to his violent history, right? So right now he's been held on a $2 million bond, and he's a 37-year-old. He was living at Copper River Apartments in Spokane. The charges are 5 counts of first-degree arson. And a little bit about his violent history, like my boy stated. In 2010, Farinacci shot and unalived his adopted father in Mesa, Arizona. The reason for this was an argument regarding washing dishes. He turned the pew-pew on himself, but he survived. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter and aggravated assault, serving roughly 10 years before his 2020 release. So So psychological triggers. Farinacci relocated to Spokane in October 2022 following the birth of his son. In May 2025, he claimed he experienced extreme difficulty coping with, quote, life issues, which led him to heavy cannabis usage and fixation on setting fires. It's just random to me to think, like, you're smoking pot, but then again, it's like your release is just lighting things on fire. Don't get me wrong, lighting things on fire is cool, like in a cautious way, like a campfire or a little bonfire, whatever, right? But something at this level where you're literally destroying houses and whatever,
intentionally,
just everything intentionally, that's just far and beyond, man. That's insane. So, criminal mindset and philosophy. Farinacci expressed a dark ideological fixation on fire during police interviews. According to court affidavits, he told investigators he believes fire is powerful, beautiful, and that things that go through fire experience a kind of rebirth. What do you think about that, bro?
I mean, I think he's off his rocker. And
I'm like, is anybody in there? Is anybody up there? You know what I'm saying? Are the wheels spinning?
I just, getting his, they're looking at his mental competency and all this. Is he going to be willing? He couldn't have picked a better state to commit a crime like this, because Washington State is just known for just handling criminals like this with kid mittens. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get if he isn't sent for prison. They might hold him for, in a loony house or whatever the PC version of that is. But for me, anytime the crazies go somewhere, it's always the loony bin. That's where he belongs, obviously. But I don't think that he deserves to see the light of day. I don't think he deserves to see freedom. One minute of freedom for the rest of his life. And quite frankly, I think that I wouldn't even be against the death penalty in this, because we don't know if this will end up killing somebody. We don't know. We don't know yet. But what you have taken away is you've taken away priceless memories, family heirlooms. I saw a video of a family moving out their classic car, trying to save their classic car.
Dang, dude.
And, you just think of all these things that this man callously took away from people. And, I think we're way too soft on people. And mentally ill or not, we don't need people like that to exist on this planet. And I think we need to start cracking down a lot more. And I think that once you start doing that, people will magically, snap out of their craziness a little bit. That's my theory. I think that this mental illness is an act for a lot of people. They know they can get away with it. They move to states like California, Oregon, Washington, New York. They move to these states that coddle this type of behavior.
To add to that too, right? Think about it. What we just read, right? I just said this a little bit ago as we're reading all this information. To me, it sounds like this dude took the time, the effort to collectively gather every single piece to the puzzle to cause something like this horrific. To me, it sounds like he's competent to do all that. If he's able to do all of that in a manner of like he knows what he's doing, he can stand trial. There's to me, I see it's BS if they try to say that his mental state's not right. He can't stand trial. That is BS to me.
Well,
BS.
You know, as our former puke of a governor said in his post, two things can be true at the same time. It can be arson, but it can also be climate change. That's what he says. So I would pose a rebuttal with the same argument that two things can be true at the same time, and say someone can be crazy, but they can also be evil and deserve to be locked behind bars for the rest of their natural life.
So Farinacci used his cannabis habit as a premeditated cover story, carrying marijuana specifically to justify his possession of lighters if stopped by police. During his 2025 TJ Manock fire interrogation, he lay on a rock pretending to rest, later admitting he was actually recovering from injuring his tailbone while fleeing the ignition site. See what else. Suicide by cop intention. Farinacci admitted to detectives that he possessed a backup plan. If cornered by law enforcement during an active arson, he intended to brandish a knife from his backpack to force responding deputies to execute a fatal shooting.
Might not have been the worst plan.
Holy moly!
I mean, he doesn't. Obviously, he's having trouble.
That's
he's having
insane.
trouble living and life. And I'm sorry, but that he's gone too far. Had he not done this, had he not taken the life of his father, his adoptive father, I think that there could have been more conversations to maybe save him from this. But once you cross that line and you take life, you take millions of dollars of property that and timeless things that could never be replaced. You've crossed the line. There's no more saving you. There's no, you can have your little foo-foo talk time in prison.
Yeah.
In the yard.
Yeah, I hope they don't, but I really think he's competent to stand trial. Anything else that they try to sway, for the judge to think that he's not able to, stand the trial or whatever, it's BS at this point. Like I said, everything I've read right there to see, like, this dude was calculated with everything he did to do these crimes. Well, there's no way.
It's what you have to do. That Washington is a one-party state, so you have to be able to convince the radical socialists, the liberals, the activist judges that are trying to, they create so much chaos by releasing all these repeat offenders out on our street.
Yeah.
That's why our cities are so dangerous, because they're full of Farinaccis. They're full of all these other types of violent criminals, these repeat offenders. And so somehow, some way, we have to convince these liberal, activist, socialist, Marxist judges to, okay, we got to really hold this one in. Yeah. This one we got to hold in. And the only way they do it is, if you're the right color of skin. And so if you're white, they'll lock you up for life. But any darker shade, you get a free pass for anything. And that's just the way. That's the reality. I'm sorry, but look at the statistics. That's what they do. And if you're white, you know that they are going to throw the book at you. You know it. They don't let white people go, but everyone else, good to go. No bail. Oh, you can't afford bail. Oh, that's fine. Just come to court. And then they never do.
Do a little community service. You'll be good.
It's good. But I mean, that's the sad reality. I'm sorry. I have to say it, and you can be upset, but that's the reality we're in today. It's
all good. I mean, at the same time, it's kind of good that you have a little bit of native in you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to use it. I'm not. No, I'm proudly who I am. I'm not going to let any kind of cultish behavior of a bunch of race baiters tell me that I need to be ashamed of being who I am.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's insane, man. I just think to me it's almost like when they commit these high level crimes, right? It really grinds my gears where they literally get a slap on the wrist and they're like, here you go, you're back released into the wild.
Yeah.
That dude, it blows my mind. Oh, you unalived 10 people? Okay, we'll give you 10 years.
Yeah.
I read these cases and I'm like, are you like, am I the only crazy one living here? Like to think that this is insane?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they just want to be like, no, we can't be too hard on them. They had a troubled past, blah, 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 blah.
So did I, guys. So did I.
I'm like, okay. I mean, that's, it's insane to me. I don't know. I guess I look at it at a certain way. If you commit the crime, you can pay the time.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
isn't that what they used to say?
It's all of those excuses that people use. I was fully one of those cases. I grew up on the other side of the tracks. I was one of those people. But I just always told myself, you know what? It doesn't have to be like this. Yeah. I bet if I just start making better decisions, pull up my pants a little bit, maybe tighten my belt up, maybe not get all these crazy tattoos,
right?
No septum pierce. I'm not ever going to do that. Maybe if I just act like a normal, functional human being, right, maybe things will turn out. Yeah. But that's not the direction that a lot of people go.
Be a good contribution to society and be a good within my community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Instead, you got this, this Beavis type character. Fire. He did do you have his picture? Do you have his new picture? Because he actually looks like a merge of Beavis and Butthead together, like they had a baby.
He sounds that last name Fernacci. He's like an Italian, right?
Well, that he was adopted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what did I put? Seattle? See, this is
that's the old one. I want his new one.
Oh, yeah, he does.
That's not him.
That's not him?
No.
I think that is him.
Oh, yeah, that is. But that's not the picture. There's a.
Oh, that's not him. No, that's not him.
No.
Give us a couple seconds, people. Our lovely producer here, which is me. Right. There you go. This him right here. Yeah.
Just go to there's the latest mugshot. This one in the gray a day ago. No, not that one. There.
Okay, we'll pull this one up. We'll pull it in the jumbotron right here for you people to see. So yeah, my boy said he does look like.
Doesn't he look like a combination of Beavis and Butthead?
Grow the hair a little bit out,
Shut up, Beavis. Fire!
I like that cartoon. Yeah.
He literally looks like they had a baby.
Scumbag, dude. That's insane, dude.
Well, you can just, you look at his eyes and you can see the hatred in his eyes, the anger, the lost. He's completely lost.
So now we're gonna dive into the weird things about this, right? I guess you could say the
tinfoil hat side of things.
I gotta find my tinfoil hat somewhere. Yeah. I gotta look for it. But let me read this to you, right? Shout out to MJ Truth Ultra on X. Of course, X is a good resource we use, or a good source, I should say, that we like to look up or look into to find articles that are interesting.
Yeah, he keeps it spicy.
Yeah, we like to keep it spicy. We like to add a little bit of, a little spice to the gumbo. So this person says, as Spokane, Washington continues to burn, a look back at the eerie similarities with California wildfires.
Wildfires in quotes.
A forensic arborist determined that nearly all wildfires in California since the Paradise fires have been caused by...
Should say parasite, right?
Parasite. Is it? Probably a typo.
Or palicide.
Palicide fires.
Palicide.
That was a typo. That was a typo, right? It's not my butchered reading either. I'm telling you honestly, these shades, the glare is just what kind of messes me up. You know what I'm saying? So I do my best, people. Right? Don't hang me. All right.
But we do it for the look.
We do it for the look.
Images, everything. Yeah. Bright told us.
Yeah. So the is it Palisades? You said
Palisades.
Palisades fires have been caused by direct energy weapons.
What?
We talked about before.
What?
Robert Brame, with 38 years of experience as an arborist, whom has spent the last 48 years studying the plant kingdom, focusing on California's native flora, conducted extended field work, making 106 trips to the aftermath of 38 different wildfires, mostly in California. According to his analysis, he determined that only 3 of these fires were due to natural causes. One example he provides is the Coffey Park fire in Santa Rosa, California in 2017. Severely high flammable trees were left entirely intact despite homes burning to the ground around it, like what he witnessed in LA fires. In all of his 120 trips to fire-ravaged areas, mostly in California, he has found strange, consistent anomalies, such as unexplained temperatures melting glass and aluminum where there shouldn't be. In other scenarios, fence posts made of wood only ignited near the screws or metal, leading him to believe it's being heated up with some kind of microwave technology. Another example he shows are trees that are literally cooking from the inside out, burning while not one single leaf burned on the same trees. Brahms strongly believes some of these fires, like those in Lahaina, Maui, have been started or exuberated by directed energy weapons, the DEWs. It remains an unverified fact, but my strong opinion is that these arsonists being arrested are just the patsies to blame to further increase plausible deniability.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brett? Let's get going.
Well, now the tinfoil hat's on. Now you got to look at it from that perspective.
Right.
Was Aaron Farinacci MK Ultra'd? And okay, so then he becomes their patsy.
Yep,
right.
the
He's
fall
under
guy.
their mind control, so he thinks he's acting on his own accord.
Yeah.
And so he just has all these things, and of course he's had practice, right? He's admitted to lighting 25 fires, yada yada yada.
Yep.
Now, this is the big one. You got your app out August 1st. That's the day. Okay, so they know, MK Ultra folks, they know that he's going to go out, right? So they sent him the subliminal signal. So he goes out and, has his little device or whatever. So then once it starts, then the DEWs come out. So it's actually a combination of arson and direct energy weapons.
So, and just to give people another glimpse of what these DEWs are, we're going to read a little summary on what they do and just kind of how they work, right? No, not Mountain Dew either. Stupid Google. Stupid AI.
Well, no, you had it. I don't know why they showed a picture, but it was telling you about it.
Dude, a Mountain Dew does sound pretty good, though, not gonna lie.
Oh, I could go for one. Ice cold Dew.
A directed energy weapon is a range system that damages or disables targets using highly focused electromagnetic energy, such as lasers or microwaves, rather than the physical bullets or kinetic projectiles. They operate at the speed of light, offering high precision and low cost per engagement.
That's insane,
dude.
That's insane. And so
why do you think they would do this? So let's go to the main cost. Like, you're asking yourself, Eduardo and Brett, why do you think this was done? Like, what is the main objective? Well,
data centers.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth, buddy. That's one thing that we've talked about here before, people, and they know us as people. Like, they're still trying to build one here close to where we live. I think they put that on pause from the last time I heard because people were talking about it. So what other way do you think these people are going to go? At what links to, this will look good over here. I think we can manage to probably secure these acres over here to put these data centers up or whatever. I'm just saying, man, it sounds too much of a coincidence that all of a sudden this year we started hearing about them planning this and planning, putting these buildings up here, over there, and trying to buy off massive lands and farmlands too, offering people that owns these huge chunk of lands with crazy amounts of money, but they're not nudging. They don't want to do it because of the effects that it will take in the area, including water, everything, noise, resources, you name it, resources, everything. This is not a good thing, people. I'm just saying. And
what are they for?
Exactly.
Nobody's ever been transparent about that.
Oh, it's for AI. That's what they say. That's the first thing they always say. It's always for AI.
Yeah, and then you always have your people on the other side that say you can put enough AI in your computer, in each computer, to do the same thing.
Oh,
so
one thing too, I wanted to let you know too, just because it's like we're in the topics of AI and data centers. Did you know there's a company here in Washington State that are making satellite data centers that go up into the atmosphere, and they stay there because the temperatures are cold, and they get they're solar powered, so the sun hits it all the time, all year round. So now you have a fully functional data center up in our orbit,
literally in the clouds,
right? But that's what's crazy, though, right? So if they have that, which it's a true thing, people, you can do your Googles too, right? We'll jump into that too more if we got time on this. I know we're flowing right now, right? We're just conspiracy after conspiracy just flowing through my brain right now.
Yeah.
But what other things aside from that? If you got data centers that are working via satellite, they're able to power up Starlink. That's one thing that they're using it for sure. But what else? And then now they're talking about they want to build these things here, like on the ground. Like, why do we need all this? That's the question I always ask. Like, why? What's the objective? What's the main goal for?
Yeah,
Like you said, nobody seemed to answer that question.
What happens? What
Data,
naturally
data,
happens
data,
with
data.
humans if you cannot answer the question yourself, and people are, the leaders. I mean, everything is so hush hush.
Yeah.
Mum is the
Under
word.
wraps.
Yeah, they're telling. I mean, I was reading this one thing that I think it was Flock. I think it was Flock, where they were there was some sort of letter that being written to the cops that instructed the cops not to tell the people that they were pulling them over, that the evidence that they have on them is using Flock information.
So they want to leave their names out of it. They just want to say under your observation or your investigation, just kind of have it rely on the cop that pulled you over.
Right,
whatever.
as if he just was this,
So no snitching.
amazing, the detective,
Dude, what a clown of a company, man. He's just overall, and
it's Axon. It's not Flock. It's
crazy.
not Axon. So what the solution is to keep doing what we're doing. Keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Keep talking to our city councils. Keep talking to our community leaders, and just let everybody know that this cannot happen. This cannot happen. But here's the thing. Here's the nefarious end of it. So Spokane, they didn't want these data centers, so they said, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So then say you really need these data centers and you can't use eminent domain, right? The people have their houses there. The community's already said they don't want it. So it's a no. It's a hard no.
yeah.
Or is it? What if we just MK Ultra this guy,
Right.
And then we can come in. We know that insurance isn't going to cover the expenses. So what
yeah.
if we know they're going to be in a position where they have to sell? They won't be able to afford the materials to rebuild and all that. So what if we just give them pennies on the dollar and do the data center anyway? So I mean,
it lines up with a natural disaster or climate change disaster for it to happen. They'll put the blame on something else for it to happen. At this point, they're gonna get it by any means necessary. I like to think of like any possibility could happen. They could tell us like, oh, you're crazy. It's not true. I mean, look at the past. MK Ultra as a whole, that was true. People, they admitted to it doing it. So right there, conspiracy theorists up one on that. So with all this happening now, you want to know people, you got to ask yourselves questions now at this point.
You know what my conspiracy theory is on in conjunction with these data centers?
All right, that's good.
So I think these data centers are obviously made to gather data on us. They want our whole lives. They want files on every single one of us, our whole lives. What cars we drove, where we lived, who our partners were, everything, every infraction you had, everything.
Yeah.
Right? They want everything. They want to pull everything on you. And so I have this theory that, one thing I've noticed, remember during the 2020 COVID era and how we were just getting strike after strike?
Oh, yeah.
We were right about everything.
Yeah.
We were right about everything, but we kept getting strikes, right?
Yeah.
Well, we haven't had any strikes in a long time, and we've been into some pretty spicy topics.
Yeah.
So I'm just driving home one day, and I'm like, maybe they're keeping tabs on all of us. Maybe we're in a data center. They have data centers up right now.
Yeah.
Maybe they are using these data centers and they're finding these voices like us, like ourselves, and other people who are talking about data centers, blocks, APAC, Israel, you name it, right? The things that they don't want you to talk about.
The hush topics, right?
And, so instead of giving us strikes, what they're doing is they're just gathering all the data and then they're tracking us there and so that they know who the first ones to remove from the scene are.
Okay, so in regards to data, this flows perfectly into this little. We'll have this like as a little side note.
Yeah.
Read this to me right here. This fits in perfectly with what you're talking about.
Nice.
Right. Let them have it. Let them read it.
From Shining Science, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Employers are using AI to determine how desperate you are and give you the lowest possible wage. Welcome to the age of surveillance wages. It's kind of like, that reminds me of dynamic pricing. We can go into that later.
Oh.
You are likely already familiar with the digital sting of surveillance pricing. Oh, yeah, that's what I was okay, they also call it dynamic prices.
Oh, we're flowing now today,
Such
baby.
as airlines adjusting ticket fares based on loyalty program data, or retail sites raising prices on essentials by sensing customer urgency. Now, the same predatory logic is shifting from the marketplace into the employment relationship, known as surveillance wages. This emerging corporate strategy utilizes sophisticated AI and big data to analyze candidates' personal histories, credit scores, zip codes, and online behaviors. Instead of offering a salary based on standard experience, qualifications, or market standards, algorithms are being deployed to predict the absolute lowest pay rate a job seeker is desperate enough to accept. This algorithmic profiling frequently operates without the worker's knowledge or consent, turning intimate details like whether an applicant has taken out a payday loan or possesses a high credit card balance into leverage for employers during pay negotiation. Experts warn that as these wage-setting models scale beyond the gig economy into traditional sectors like healthcare, retail, and customer service, they actively penalize vulnerable candidates. By detaching hard work from fair, standardized pay, dynamic wage setting not only undercuts standard labor value, but also opens a dangerous backdoor to systemic discrimination, making it harder than ever for job seekers to secure financial stability. That is gross. That is gross. And you know what?
Oh my God, brother. Oh, dude. We're all I'm saying, dude. Like, again, people, we're just letting you folks know what's down the pipeline. All this joking aside, right? We've said it numerous times. I mean, I've said it like mentally by myself. I would say this numerous times, right? There's going to be, at the time, right? This is years ago. There's going to be a supercomputer that's going to just somehow be put together, or something's going to come up within that realm of those things to be a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm a big Terminator fan. Terminator 2 Judgment Day was the best one. But thinking of that as a concept, right? I'm like, there's never going to be anything like that.
Yeah.
Fast forward. I mean, brother.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you, okay, initial thought on this. What do you think? What do you think?
No, I absolutely, I think that this is such a
crazy.
scary place to be in, because if they are fighting so hard and investing in this technology to allow them and enable them and to basically coerce people into taking the lowest wage part, you know, it's a rat race. It's a fight to the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but at what point do people finally just say, okay, listen, like, I can't go any lower than this. So then somebody comes in and undercuts them.
Oh, yeah.
And then the people that finally do get these jobs at these low wages, how are they going to be able to afford anything in life? Rent is going up. Mm-hmm. Inflation is not keeping up with wages. Yeah. So really what you're seeing, what this absolutely does is this crushes the middle class. This eradicates the middle class as we know it.
You're either rich or you're poor.
There's no in between.
Exactly.
Nope.
And that's their goal.
Yep.
That is their goal. More for them, but less for you. Less for us. Hey, man, I don't know. I need a cigarette. Just like
yeah, I mean, you know, and that's another thing too. You know, you see these crazies. You know, these crazies always go for like, you know, vulnerable targets, right? Like schools, fires, lighting up neighborhoods, you know, unsuspecting.
Yeah.
Where are the crazies that are lighting up data centers? Nobody's doing any of that.
All right.
You know, like they're just mysteriously, you know, MK Ultra kind of gears them away from, you know, like, hey, if it's anybody on an Epstein list, just leave them alone, okay? Right, yeah. They're okay. They're on the safe list.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, you barely, other than like that Luigi married Johnny or whatever his name is. You know, he was like the only one, but that was a very rare circumstance.
Yeah.
But
that was crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, going into that, if CEOs are doing this and you are making so many people poor, I don't care how much data you're collecting on people. If you make this many millions of people pour, they're not going to care what camera's watching.
They are coming full force. I'll tell you that.
The revolution will be televised on. It will be.
We'll be streaming live. Yeah, it'll be live. You're gonna see it from the front view of your camera or from the front view of your phone, and you're gonna see people just knocking doors down.
Oh yeah. Your little Terminator drones better be ready for the people that you put in the soup lines.
Man.
And little Elon Musk idea with what's that called? That wage.
The universal
basic income. Yeah. You better get that ready, because here's the thing: so they're raising taxes at astronomical rates on everybody now, right? Yeah. So what happens when you remove the tax base? Who pays the taxes at that point? Are robots going to be paying taxes?
There's no way, dude. They're going to come out of somebody's pockets.
So I think that ties in with the other plan. There's so many moving parts in this, but I think that ties in with the plan for global population reduction. The Bill Gates pie in the face. The day that he decided that he was gonna Thanos us.
That was the final straw for him.
Yep.
He's like, they're gonna clown me. Watch this.
Yep. So I mean, this is but going back to the fires here, right there, and with the craziness, I really do believe this has a high likelihood of creating copycats. So people have to be vigilant.
Yes.
And you know what? If there is any silver lining in being perpetually surveilled by Flock and all them, the one hope that we have is that one of these guys will get caught on a Flock camera. That'll be their little saving grace or whatever. But again, how many times do they let the bad guys go anyway, and then just focus on people that are over on their tabs or whatever, right? They're always focusing on the stupid stuff, and innocent people. A lot of innocent people are being wrongly accused, and a lot of police, over 50 police officers now, have been busted for misusing Flock technology. By misusing, I mean stalking people.
Dude.
Yeah.
No harm. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. So one thing though, when we were wrap it up on regards to data centers, right? I saw a pretty funny meme. Someone said, we should tell the homeless people, let them know that data centers have a lot of copper.
A lot. Oh yeah. A lot,
MK Ultra the organic way, though. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, leave the construction alone. Those are baby numbers. Go to the data centers, people.
Fully loaded. You'll be made. You'll be living the dream. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna watch a little video here in regards to the fires, the suspicious burnings, and just how some things just don't add up. Right? Something doesn't look right. So we're gonna share this little video here that we got here that we saved. Again, shout out to MJ Truth Ultra on X. Full credit. For sure. So let's watch this.
Needles, the branches, even the trees will burn down, sometimes to a low stump or even a hole in the ground. Not like this one. This was the big Coffee Park fire in Santa Rosa, where 4,700 homes were turned to white ash. And look at the trees. Why aren't they missing along with the houses? Many of these are pine family relatives. Eucalyptus against that road there, or whatever that is, against the road. Those are eucalyptus back there, the round ones. Those are so flammable. A cigarette lighter in your hand can light those on fire. A green leaf, light them right on fire. The forest is primarily valley oak, blue oak, and California bay, which is a very combustible leaf. I can light them on fire again with a cigarette lighter. They didn't burn. There's a bay tree right there. The bottoms will always be burned right at ground level. No reason for that. Grass couldn't do that. You have to have a lot of flames to do that. No, they're being cooked right where they're at. This was an entire bay forest, and I couldn't find one leaf burned. And somehow the leaves turned black. You notice the bottoms of these little suckers here, they're black. Almost every tree here is a bay. They didn't burn, but the ground did. It's only a grass fire here. You can tell this was just grass, and it might have even been kept up. I don't see one burned tree. There's ponderosa pine, black oak, white oak. Well, there's a deodar cedar to the left there a little bit. That's pine family from the Himalayas. And a digger pine on the left, the big multi-branched one. Nothing wanted to burn that day, just the house. Ponderosa pine forest. Little short ones and everything. Where the flames are in the needles, they refuse to ignite. Here's your eucalyptus. It's down in the flames, refuse to burn. Upper foothill or lower pine belt here. Very flammable areas. And no, they're not burning. And look in the background. Chunks of metal everywhere. The 2 fire captains told me in their combined 60 years, they've never, ever seen a window melt out. Incidentally, every fire I've been to, all these 120 trips, not one window has been intact.
That right there is, that's got to be extreme heat at that point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Brett.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know, man.
You know what's crazy?
That is insane. There's a lot of questions with this here.
Until I saw this, I didn't
Yeah.
see, like, I mean, that is hot when you're getting windows that look like they are just melted like icing. It looks like icing on a cake.
Yeah.
But growing up, I grew up in Montana, and one thing that I always knew about trees is how much water is in a tree. When you cut a tree down, because we had firewood, we had a fireplace. And so we had to cut the trees in the early part. I think it was like early summer or whatever, or maybe even in the spring. We had to cut I think it was in the spring.
Okay.
We had to cut the trees down, and you had to cut them into lengths. I think we cut them into like 16 to 18 inches. And then you had to split them with the axe, right? And then you had to stack them. Well, you had to, when you stacked them, then you're allowing as much exposure to the air as you can to let all of that water sort of dry up.
Yeah.
That's in the trees. So that takes an entire season. You know, you're letting it season, you're letting it dry out, all of that water evaporate from the tree throughout the whole summer. And so that's how long it takes before you can even use that firewood. So when I see a lot of these trees not burning down, in my mind, I say, well, you know, I know that there are a lot of water. There's a lot of water in those trees.
Okay. Fair point. Okay.
So, but
I don't know about the glass though.
but when you've got melted window that looks like icing, that's and those rims, right? Those aluminum rims,
yep.
just melted completely away. I cannot explain.
All right.
I cannot explain.
Good take. No, hey, we gotta play devil's advocate every now and then, right? We gotta question everything for sure. You know, we're not one dimensional here, people, right? We like to look at everything. So let's continue with this video.
Every single one has melted out. No exceptions. There's your aluminum. What's melting it this far away?
That's insane.
Well, what's keeping it flowing? These things will flow 20 or 30 feet from a car when there's nothing on the ground to keep them melting. That's a high temperature, but they keep flowing right across the dirt. Here's a fence line. They all look like this. Burn at the nails, burn at the ground. The only place they burn is at the ground and wherever the metals were. What fire does that? A normal fire would burn the post from the bottom up, not skip spots. No, they favor the metals, of course. This is a tall post, perhaps 5 or 6 feet high, and way up high, eye level, just the nail area burned. Here's this board. What really burned? The nails on that board.
Dang.
This little guardrail is a park guardrail, and actually it's all wood. There's no metal here. The cross member, the long ones, and the post are all wood. And each one was burned like this, where the screws were. Many trees are cooking from the inside out. They're burned on the inside, and there's no hole to get a flame in there. This thing was about 4 feet in diameter in a spring, burned from the inside out, and not one leaf burned. When you look at the cuts, this is very important. These are 90% dead. They should not have that heartwood. The dark area is the heartwood. It shows me these things were cooked from the inside out. Here's a soil bag. It still had soil in it. That was there. The tennis shoe was there. And you see the black. There's black everywhere. A cushion for your chair. I see this chainsaw in the back of this pickup truck. The window melted out at 2,500 degrees. All the tires burned completely, leaving the slinky-like steel belts. That plastic should be gone completely, down to the metals. Didn't happen.
There's so much white ash in some of these photos. It looks like the heat would have been.
I don't know, man. It raises a lot of questions when this gentleman is explaining. It's like something does not add up.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, this is along the lines of the Twin Towers. When they built the Twin Towers, they told everybody these can withstand a plane hitting it.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden you get a two airplanes, one in each tower hits, and it takes the whole thing. Even when there were witnesses that said that they heard explosions,
yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. They heard all that. The the building center or whatever, World Trade Center Tower number 7. BBC announced it as it went down 30 minutes before it actually went down. So many things, right? And then you have seen other towers in the other skyscrapers where airplanes hit them, and they just hit them. Nothing happened. There was a fire at the localized area, but it did not pancake on itself. So, yeah, it's so weird because I think that we are just on the very beginning cusp of a time in a time change. Basically, like one thing that they say, people always ask, hey, how did these buildings get built? There's no way that these buildings could have been built with the technology. And because they erased all of that information, they erased, they burned the libraries, they did all that. I think we're seeing the same thing today.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Speaking of, burning, what is it? Not knowing and burning. You were saying burning books? That was saying?
Yeah, I was talking about,
Well,
oh, yeah. Oh,
there's
yeah.
something that's been happening lately that they're getting rid of a lot of old books. I wonder why.
Rare books, even.
Rare books, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we should maybe, I don't know, peek into this one. We should crack this hardback open.
Oh man, dude! Oh, I love it. It's like
absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
Coincidence? Like I said, I think not. We should come up with our own little thing about coincidence. You had a pretty good bar actually a long time ago that we were gonna make a shirt of. Something in regards to coincidence. We're gonna have to brainstorm on that, but something with the coincidence. You said something pretty. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. You came up with it on the fly too.
It's funny. That's how most of my stuff is. It's just freestyle, off the cuff. That's what I'm saying. And if it's not recorded, I lose it.
Yeah, dude. You got to start jotting these things down, dude. Because we're like I said, with our shirts and all that, like coming with like creative, like little slogans like that. That might be in the works, people. We just, this is how things come up right here. See, so it's this is the beauty about podcasting. So good ideas come. So man. But I don't know, brother. I mean, I think we touched base on this. This was it's a pretty good one right here.
Yeah. I just, you just kind of reminded me though with the whole book burning and.
You want to look into that real quick?
No. We can save that for later.
Okay.
But what I want to do is just remind people that it looks like there's chaos all around us, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like when you look at TV, when you turn your TV on, right? And you're seeing all these channels, they're all parroting the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. And they all seem like, why are all these channels saying the same thing?
Yeah.
And then you start looking at who owns this, right? And then at the very top, you have a single company that owns multiple companies. So the appearance to us, it looks like, oh man, I've got 20 different channels and they're all saying the same thing. Well, that's because the parent channel, the one that owns all of them, is giving them their marching orders.
It's the master puppeteer.
I think that is what we're seeing with this on the military side. And I do think that this stuff is military operations. And I don't think it's 100% fully CIA. I think there's other countries involved. And I think that they're working towards a surveillance state, but they're trying to create fear and chaos, and they're trying to give us the illusion that all of this is happening at once. But I think at the end of the day, when the truth comes out and when we continue to fight for the truth, we're going to find out this is all just from one source, one or two maybe sources. But I think a lot of this, what we're seeing, is just coming from one centralized location.
With that being said, folks, like I said, we try to bring you just what we think. It's our thoughts. We just try to bring this to the masses everywhere, the whole world. That's the objective, right? Spreading the message out there. Do with it with what you may. You know what I'm saying? We're just the messengers. Right, bro? That's all you can say, right?
I would say
Entertainers.
we're just-
Entertainers.
Yeah, we're just here to entertain. Don't take anything we say serious. You know, we're just playing.
Right.
You know, like when they're handcuffing me and they send me to Guantanamo and they're waterboarding me. You know, the whole time I'm just gonna say I'm just playing, guys. Like, why you guys? You know, what did I say? Did I get too close to something?
Right. You must
You know?
be all this trouble for what, sir?
Was I over the target? You know, what was it? The dues or the?
All right, folks. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. Again, I want to remind everybody that listens to our podcast and anybody that's listened to it via audio, watch any of our videos on YouTube. A good way to support the pod for free, of course, as always. It doesn't cost you anything. Is either by following all of our socials that we're on, Instagram, TikTok. We're on YouTube as well. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. It'll help us out tremendously. I look at the analytics, and a good portion of you have not subscribed to us on YouTube. Please do so. It'll help us out a lot. It'll put our stuff into the algorithm. It'll expand this to a lot more people that would probably like this type of stuff. You know, who knows? Again, we're here to entertain you, inform you, and just have a good time. Have something good to listen to while you're out at work, you're on a jog, you're on your way to work driving, you're going home from work. You know, you name it. We just try to, you know, set the mood right. You know what I'm saying? Again, we just try to make you laugh and just entertain you. So
We're here to talk about the things that you can't talk about with your family at the Thanksgiving
exactly
table,
right. Yeah.
Eventually.
Exactly right. You know, we're all a family here, all right? So
We are family.
So we love you folks, right? From all over the world. Again, I look at the numbers and Vietnam, salute to you. We have a good audience listeners in Vietnam. Out of all the places, I'm like, Vietnam out of all the
Funny,
places.
because I saw something about Vietnam that was amazing. but
Wait. No, we're talking about the same thing. No,
No,
that was Thailand,
Vietnam.
Right?
They just bought a. They're the first country that had bought the cancer cure that
Oh.
Russia. They say that they developed the cure for cancer.
Oh.
And so Vietnam is the first country that's going to try it out.
Well,
so
look into that. You know what I'm saying?
hopefully, you guys, hopefully that works because with all the sanctions and all that, they can't get us. So we might take a trip to Vietnam. You know.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So shout out to everybody that listens to our stuff from all over the world, all the different countries. We love you. Till then, we're gonna wrap this one up. Like I always say, have a good day, have a good weekend. Overall, stay safe out there. We love you. Till the next one. Peace.